Hi, this is Coralla at CorallaFicklin.com, WelcomeNetwork.com, excuse me, WelcomeNetwork.com, and you can go into Welcome Network, WYLCOME, WelcomeNetwork.com, and then you can see all the other sites that we have available that you can go in and you can download, go to different sites like minimumpairs.com, idiomaticexpressions.com, idiomaticsynonyms.com, and you can download study cards or study guides or other study aids, or you can go into pedians.com and download some of the writings that I have available. Okay, so what I'm going to look at today, not so much pronunciation, although I guess you could use the pronunciation that I have here, but I'm not doing this so much for pronunciation as just to talk about idiomatic expressions, common idiomatic expressions that you have in English. And when I speak of English, I'm speaking of American English, British English, Australian English, maybe a touch of South African, Jamaican English from Bermuda, from New Zealand. Okay. So, oh, by the way, you'll notice sometimes that I'll take a word. I've done this before, like in Spanish. And I'll see, for example, you're going to notice I'm going to take the word like nail or head. And I'll just take a word and I'll just play with it and look at all the different ways that that expression is used idiomatically or metaphorically. Okay? So sometimes I'll just have an expression and it might contain words that I won't use again. Other time I'll use those words again and again, but differently in different type of expressions. And you'll see how a particular word can be used metaphorically throughout the language. Okay, to fall through. The expression is to fall through. To fail to accomplish something, to collapse. If my plans fall through, that means something happened and I can't do what I planned to do. So my plans fell through. To face the music. I've done something that maybe is not the best, and now it's time that I face the music, that I now accept the consequences of my action. There's another expression that says, it's basically the same. You've done something, let's say you've cheated on your husband or you cheated on your wife, and now your wife or your husband has found out, and you now it's time to face the music, and someone says to you, well, you made your bed, now lie in it, you know, or you you can't complain because it's now time to stew in your own juices. Okay, another expression is to hit the nail on the head. To hit the nail on the head. Now, I'm not talking about these nails. These are nails. These are uñas. These are nails. But I'm not talking about these nails. I'm talking about the nail that you use in wood with a hammer and you go boom, 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 claves. You know, that kind of nail. And if someone says, you said that you think the reason I don't want to do this because I don't want to spend the money, correct? Yes, that's what I said. Good. Because you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly the reason. So when you hit the nail on the head, and I'm looking at the cards, so when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the cards, it means to say or do exactly the right thing. That's exactly the reason. Okay. To nail one's coffin. Now that sounds more British, because in American English you would say to put the nail in one's coffin. And for example, when he was spending all that money, instead of saving it for the company, he was putting the nails in his company's coffin, or he was putting the nails in his partner's coffin. To nail one's coffin, or to put the nail in one's coffin, means to hasten the failure or demise of someone or something. To nail down. To nail down means to make final. If you nail down the contract, that means after all the writing and after all the compromises, just like Obama was able to nail down the health reform bill, and you saw the deal making and all the problems that were necessary, that he had to go through in order to nail it down the bill. To head off. To stop the progress of something or someone. Someone is going this way and you stopped them. You head them off. You stopped them so they can't continue. That's to head off. To come to a head. When something comes to a head, for example, everyone knew that the financial crisis had to come to a head. It had to reach a climax. It had to reach a final stage. And at that point, there's a rather vulgar expression, and I'll just spell the vulgar word for you. And it says, well, I'll say it. When something comes to a head, it's when the shit hits the fan. I love that expression, because when the shit hits the fan, you know, if shit hits the fan, it's going to go all over the place. Okay? So that's when it comes to a head. It reaches its climactic stage. I love that. When the shit hits the fan, that's when people start running. To go to one's head. To go to one's head. When something goes to one's, or something goes to your head, there's an expression that says, look at him or look at her. She's begun to believe her own press. And that means you begin to believe what people say or write about you. And normally you're talking about the good things. For example, if Obama, the president of the United States, went around saying, I'm fantastic, I am, God, I'm Jesus Christ, I walk on water, because of everything they have written about him, especially before he became president, people would say, oh, he's so conceited, or he's so arrogant. And when that happens, people say, well, I guess all that fame, all that good news has gone to his head. You begin to believe your own press. And I remember someone told me, you know you're in trouble when you begin to believe your own press. To hang one's head. And American English, you would say to hang one's head in shame. When you hang your head in shame, you're like this. That means you've done something, and you physically lower your head because you are ashamed of your actions or your action. To be head over heels, to be head over heels in love. That means to be very much in love. I don't know if you know the expression, to to fall in love at first sight. A person walks in a room and boom, you're in love, right? And if you're very, very much in love, you're head over heels in love. Okay, I can give you two more, then I have to stop. To be head to head, to be head to head, to be in direct opposition or competition with someone. To be head to head, they're at head to head. They're in direct competition. Animals are at head to head. That's where the expression comes from. And to keep one's head, to remain calm, not to go, as they say, don't go off half-cocked. And that's not a bad, it's a little bit slang, but it's not vulgar, to go off half-cocked. All right, so this is Coralla Ficklin at CorallaFicklin.com. Come in, you can download these cards or download other cards. Coralla Ficklin, CorallaFicklin.com.